The Minister for Interior, Muntaka, he has been sued. Narcotics Control Commission, they have been sued. FBI has been sued. EOCO has been sued. And then the Attorney General has been sued. Obibeka say, hey. Now, why not? Obeso Trica will sue all these top agencies. A branch be a fellow. Freddie Kumi. Obi say Freddie Kumi no oya hwan. Muni amokai a branch a friend no. Abu Trica ne hun sensem eba young guy ewa Ghana. Ye chi ne nansi ya se FBI in sensem no. Muni amokai no. Oh, Abu Trica, into Abu Trica and sensem no. Abu Trica say, oh no. On penema FBI for enfano free Ghana nko. He, nka wa say. Odi omo he obe sue omo ni 90 ende we sue omo. Na court nkrata na ba be kamensa. Se munim eya motai follow me amunim se ade ba ko a metai epeye ene se ye be read court nkrata na ya hwede eko. Na yen read the court nkrata na ne hwede ntia Abu Trica wo sue sa empenyfo we ni na no. This is quite interesting. And that's the first time we have Mr. Subscribe and click the notification bell. So, again, this is our latest news. Biaba on sa ebeka. Me kuswa kaimo say we ye teacher ni either active or retired. And I say opesa surprise o teacher ni bia. Michelle, there is a Dubai tour eba. Ye perfect. 28th April to 3rd May. Fre 024 986 9616. We a all-inclusive experience trip. Ye ko Dubai. Energy seme womu and it's a payment no, part payment You don't have to pay everything at once. Na because akai will say, "Oh krum ha, sorry, oh my way mu." You say menka say your mind. Oh my way mu. I will say o make sika. Book na that screen is on your friend the Ghanaian investor. I bet you baby I would do sika besie. Na dachi bisika no aso aba ma mo amato book no a mo ahye ase a mo use no just within a month mo amu ehu senia musika no ahye ase eso aba se wo pe book ni bi ato a hard copy no benya wo Amazon okọ Amazon na wa search for the Ghanaian investor ebeba. That's the only book there. Na wa pe bi ato ye be ship ya brabo be bia wo bia ye betumi ama book no se wo be read wo phone so PDF. And I say I can you don't worry. You want a tree or audio. You want a tree or English video. And no number was happy 055-807-4986. Or was happy now for a number now 100 cedis per. Comment box no links me and sa ewo. The middle link no. O click here. Naturally say on sa aka. Naturally say no. Now young say motion on notice for enforcement of fundamental human rights. Pursuant to Article 33(1) of the 1992 Constitution and Order 67 of the High Court Civil Procedure Rules 2004 CI 47. Also, kindly take notice that this Honorable Court shall, pursuant to Article 33 of the 1992 Constitution and Order 67 of the High Court Civil Procedure Rules CI 47, be moved by counsel for and on behalf of applicants for the enforcement of the applicant's fundamental human rights under Chapter 5 of the 1992 Constitution, praying this Honorable Court for the reliefs below expressed and further deposed. 2. In the affidavit in support of the application upon grounds stated in the said affidavits in support. The applicant's reliefs are 1. A declaration that intino Osha Abu Trica and Samuel Walker or say the human rights ya violating against the human rights. Then na abayan ya wakwako violating against Abu Trica the human rights. Yan konsem nimo. Or say 1. A. The prolonged detention of the applicants by officers of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th respondents from the morning until late evening during his arrest on 11th December 2025, whilst continuously restrained in handcuffs, deprived of food, water, rest, and basic human necessities, and subjected to physical and psychological distress, constitutes torture and cruel cruel, inhumane, and degrading treatment contrary to Article 15 of the 1992 Constitution and is therefore unlawful and unconstitutional. Abu Trica and Zemo can say day a cheno 11th December. Sabi ye yakayaka de ye chene mani de musa sa de ne de handcuff shen sama ne che ya mani dwane ya mani nsu eda e wo se woda ene kra ya mananda enyama bia nipa unhia basic necessities bi yamfa ma no eno hunti physically and psychologically he was distressed omo torture no eye no cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment ene ye de ma no ono abrantie pa bi ade aye no. Second, or say the questioning and interrogation of the applicant at the time of his arrest by officers of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th respondents, whilst he was restrained in handcuffs, surrounded by armed officers, and subjected to threats and intimidation, and in denial of his request for access to counsel of his choice, violated his constitutional rights to legal representation, dignity, and a fair trial under Articles 15 and 19 of the 1992 Constitution and is unlawful and constitutional. Ose ye chi no ye bisa ne nsem bebre ba asem ano wo kan say oh mama me lawyer na me lawyer no be yimu ano me lawyer ose ye mfi ne kra ye de na she handcuff mu ne ye bisa ne question ose me lawyer we ye mfi no omu de tuo na surrounding no threatino, intimidatino. Or see open lawyer, you see and lawyer mano. Sadie no violating the constitutional rights to legal representation. C. The detention, coercive, interrogation, and subsequent arraignment of the applicant without access to counsel violated his rights to counsel, which amounted to a violation of his rights to fair trial. Still, ye detainee no. Yama one ne lawyer ankasa. Ye interrogate no without ne lawyer. Or say mon me lawyer amra ni emfi no. Ye de ne kwoko jina court kra no. Na ne lawyer mbae. Yama ne kwan so ne lawyer amra. Enti ye no. Ye trese a violation against his right of fair trial. D. Or say the detention and interrogation of the applicants by the 2nd, 4th, and 5th respondents and his presentation before a court of law without first affording him access to counsel of his choice, violated his constitutional right to legal representation and deprived him of a fair trial, contrary to Article 19 of the 1992 Constitution. Ye detainee no, ye bisa nsensem, ye de ne kojina court. Actress still, yamma wo no ankasa mfa lawyer wope, amba, Etian Emra. Also, the decision and conduct of officers of the 2nd respondents in permitting agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation of the United States of America, the 3rd respondent herein, as foreign law enforcement personnel to interrogate the applicant without access to counsel was unlawful and in violation of Articles 14 and 19 of the 1992 Constitution. Also, the CIA ne yakra ne say, Yema FBI for interrogatino. Ghana for penny say FBI for mra maybe sending sem. Emra still young man a coin say one fan a lawyer and representing. And also tiambra. Also the decision and conduct of officers and agents of the 3rd respondent being foreign law enforcement personnel in directly interrogating and questioning the applicant whilst he was under arrest and in custody and without access to or the presence of counsel of his choice, constituted an unlawful interference with his liberty and a violation of his rights to legal representation and a fair trial guaranteed under Articles 14 and 19 of the 1992 Constitution and is unlawful and unconstitutional. She be Abu Trica or den sem nefa eni ya yenyan. But nini nano ejina the fact that mo ama me lawyer amba mo ma ye interrogation because point nini nano one message. Or say officers and agents of the 3rd respondents being foreign law enforcement personnel possess no independent police investigative arrest, detention, or interrogation powers within the territory of the Republic of Ghana, and that any interrogation of or questioning of the applicants conducted by them in custody without lawful authority was ultra-vires, unlawful, and unconstitutional. Or say FBI need to me be say, or no FBI no, ebebura Ghana. Na washia say so bisa nkrofo questions. That be FBI will listen to me no because on no American no. To the fact say yama FBI ebisa abutrike no munsem without ne lawyer kra no. E no kra no. Se ne lawyer mpo wo ho kra etiamra ti court mbo sande ningu. As statements, signature, password, electronic access credential, or other information obtained from the applicants by officers of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th respondents while the applicant was in custody without access to or the presence of counsel and under conditions of compulsion or coercion is involuntary, unlawful, unlawfully procured, unconstitutional, and of no legal effect. That is the Abu Trica no, ye password, e signature, e statement, nini na ni amane lawyer. I'm represented. Eno hunti, yembongu se saadie no, se omoje password no, na omode kobie ni phone so ehun bibia, court mbongu se any legal effect bia, because mo anya no kwa impaso. Also, the search of the applicant's residence, known as Abu Trica's mansion, at CP-0969-1943, SUED by officers of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th respondents, conducted whilst the applicant was already in their custody and without affording him the opportunity to be present or represented during the said search, violated his constitutional rights to privacy, property, and fair process under Articles 18 and 23 of the 1992 Constitution and is unlawful and unconstitutional. The Bura Swedru and the Akoshishare Abu Trica, the Nyamemu, the Fie Koshishare Nyamemu, the Adiana Yakoko ye no, a Adiabia etiambra. Atiasie. Now, I say the recording of the applicant whilst under arrest and in custody, and the publication, dissemination, or circulation of such recording on social media by officers of the 2nd, 4th, and 5th respondents or their agents without lawful justification violated the applicant's rights to dignity, privacy, and reputation guaranteed under Articles 15 and 18 of the 1992 Constitution and is unlawful and unconstitutional. Also, we share case na send here kwa. Once a video be PS and ye arrested Abu Trica. Saadi na ye no egu ni hu enimu ase egu Abu Trica enimu ase. The court no emma order says saadi na eye unlawful. Also, the publication and dissemination of the 4th respondent of a news release describing the applicant as a notorious cyber criminal and asserting his involvement in criminal activities prior to any judicial dissemination of guilt violated the applicant's constitutional right to dignity, reputation, and the presumption of innocence guaranteed under Articles 15 and 19 of the 1992 Constitution and unlawful and unconstitutional. Or say Ghana mratre say, Sebe, se wobi koko di bone kra na ye chi nipa kro na se court emma order untumi nka se nipa ko ne di bone. By embra ye chi Abu Trica no, the 4th respondent, and in this case I think the 4th respondent is EOCO, right? Embra ye chi Abu Trica no, the 4th respondent indeed EOCO. Ekoko ye story I was say cyber criminal kesiye kronfo kesiye internet kronfo kesiye ya chino. So since Ghana mratre say nipa kro no se wedi bone kra na courts ene wo se ema ruling ansa ne hu se wedi bone na wachi obi a de ntia na so kokotro sa de na ntina no court ema order interest sa de na yoko eye no eye unconstitutional etia Ghana mra na owie no ka say an order court ema order ben excluding and rendering inadmissible in any criminal extradition or administrative procedures, any documents, electronic device, or information obtained from the search of applicant's residence known as Abu Trica Mansion conducted in his absence whilst he was in custody of the second and fourth respondent. And I knew that this was coming. Say, Abu Trica search ayeko searchi woni fie. Bibia yehu ye bia ye betumi die gina so aka say indeed ye china tum no. Esan say yamfa kwan paso ankwanko ye search ni ntino. Court embo evidence ningu, and it happens in court. Also, excluding and rendering inadmissible in any criminal extradition or administrative proceedings any statements, admission, signature, password, electronic access, credential, digital data, or other information obtained from the applicants during custodial interrogation conducted within counsel or under coercive circumstances. Emra ye chi no enyama di information bia data bia ye nya free ne hwa ye susu se betumi agina so e de ache no e de na akọ abrochi akọ na tum no court embo sansem ningu. Restraining the third respondent, its officers, agents, or assigns from exercising any arrest, detention, investigative, or interrogation powers over the applicants within the territory of Ghana. Say FBI for no. Yen prevent you omo class on be your margin so mo be chia Abu Trica di na court dabi. Yen prevent you omo. Or say an order of interlocutory injunction restraining the defendants, whether by themselves, their officers, agents, servants, or assigns, from removing, transferring, extraditing, deporting, surrendering, or otherwise delivering the applicants to any foreign state, authority, or agency, or taking any step calculated to facilitate his removal from the territory of Ghana pending the final determination of his suit. Yemfa order. And to a year FBI force. Say case we say yenyen dimwie ye dia. Muntumi nya to me say mo befa abrante na kona. Ma wa just say lawyers ni bi wo omo strategy rough. Inti no the obeya ne say case we no obe delay case no, and the obeya obe delay case no obe delay because ebia say the injunction to so say case we yendi wie ya FBI ntumi befa Abu Trica nko dia afi lawyer no I was say well no finding ways or debate delay case no. Now I'll show you Abu Trica and a lawyer obeti as here because to say lawyer now what trust and crata we no obe obi a wo pe obepe manson chepa. I say an order directing the second, third, and fourth defendants jointly and severely to pay compensation of 10 million Ghana cedis to their applicants for the violation of his constitutional rights, including damages for unlawful arrest, detention, coercive interrogation, inhuman and degrading treatments, invasion of privacy, and psychological and emotional distress. Intineyema eye EOCO, FBI, NACOC, ati asiye yemo muntia Abu Trica eye 10 million Ghana cedis. Di omo ye no omo egu ne ho fin. Intino osha case no no na hwe ne lawyer yo hwan Oliver Bakavo mewo. The signature ne boho. So beti asiye di ntia Abu Trica manso no Eco Society no owie no dey evidence ne nkrata ne nyama. But basically, this is the case. Montreal in comment box. What do you think? Who's here for Medamuni Nasi?